Hiring across India's modern education and edtech sectors is hitting record highs. Schools and digital platforms are expanding rapidly, needing instructors to fill the gap. But tapping into that demand isn't as simple as clicking a button. The internet is heavily saturated with quick certification programs. The challenge is filtering out the legitimate credentials from the programs that will leave your resume ignored. To navigate this, we have to establish the baseline of Indian teaching requirements. Historically, everything revolves around the traditional Bachelor of Education, or B.Ed. The flowchart maps the divide in the system. If you want to reach that building on the left, a permanent government teaching job, you must take the traditional route. That means an offline, NCTE-approved B.Ed. Online certificates are not accepted for those specific state roles. So where do online certificates actually hold power? They are built for private schools, international teaching assignments, and the massive edtech industry. Choosing an online certification is a direct trade. You are giving up universal government acceptance in exchange for speed, scheduling flexibility, and immediate entry into the private sector. Once you decide the private route makes sense, you enter the quick certification sequence. This always begins with a mandatory administrative input phase. You will need to upload high-quality scans of your 10th and 12th grade mark sheets, your bachelor's degree, and valid ID proofs. It feels tedious, but undergoing rigorous document verification up front is a protective measure. It ensures you actually meet the baseline requirements before paying tuition, preventing you from being disqualified by an accredited university platform halfway through the course. This timeline flowchart illustrates the fast-track sequence. Accredited platforms often allow you to take a standard 12-month curriculum and condense it by utilizing self-paced modules. For highly motivated students, this cuts the time to employment directly in half, allowing you to hit the job market in just 6 months. But look at the bottom of the chart. The fast-track path trades away the traditional classroom experience. You are entirely sacrificing live peer-to-peer networking, which means the process requires intense self-discipline. Without a live cohort or a professor looking over your shoulder, you have to build your own accountability system to finish the mandatory practicum modules on time. Fast-tracking an online certificate will absolutely save you months of time and lost income, but it transfers the entire burden of pacing and professional networking squarely onto your shoulders. Once you know how you want to study, you have to figure out exactly what to study. This comparison matrix maps the 3 dominant online paths against time required, cost, and target job. Let's start with the middle column, TEFL or TESOL. The target job here is teaching English to global audiences, or online tutoring. TEFL courses offer the fastest completion times, specifically targeting the global English instruction market. However, a TEFL certificate is useless if your actual goal is to teach standard STEM subjects, like math or physics, in a local Indian high school. For that, we look at the third column, the Postgrad Diploma in Education, or PGDE, available through top-tier Indian institutions like Amity Online or IGNOU. The target job here is K-12 education in elite private schools. A PGDE carries national recognition. It is a standard credential for hiring managers across the country and is often the baseline for higher starting salary brackets within the Indian private school system. The catch is the investment. A PGDE demands a realistic timeline of 1 to 2 years, and the tuition costs are higher than short-term diplomas. Meanwhile, early childhood education, or ECE, sits on the left as a specialized middle ground diploma. It's an effective path, but strictly limited to pre-primary career tracks. Here is the core takeaway. Enrolling in the wrong accredited course is just as damaging to your job hunt as picking a fake one, if the curriculum doesn't specifically match the employer's baseline requirements. The certificate's value isn't universal. ROI relies entirely on matching your specific course to the exact school hiring standards. This quadrant chart plots out the ultimate question for career switchers: time invested on the bottom axis against expected salary impact on the side. Does the effort actually translate to a higher paycheck? Let's look at a specific scenario. This node represents a professional transitioning from a corporate job into an online tutoring role within the edtech sector. Because edtech hiring is rapid and heavily relies on performance-based scaling, completing a short, targeted certificate can quickly lead to starting salaries in the 4 to 8 lakh per annum range, and often higher. But that high-paying edtech route comes with a clear caveat. It lacks the long-term job security, tenure, and pension benefits that define traditional offline teaching. To secure these private sector roles, you have to ace the interview. This is where modern pedagogy modules, specifically lessons on tech integration and inclusive classroom management, become your strongest talking points. Just be aware that virtual practicums have limits. No online course can perfectly simulate the actual chaos of managing a live classroom full of students. An online certificate validates your modern competencies and gets you past HR screening process. But long-term career survival still requires you to prove you can handle real-world classroom management once you're on the job. To eliminate the guesswork, this decision tree maps your ideal certification path based on your ultimate career destination. Following the top branch, if your absolute goal is a permanent government teaching job, you must enroll in a traditional offline B.Ed. If you are a fresh graduate aiming for private K-12 schools, follow the second branch. The comprehensive one-year online PGDE will give you the strongest foundation and the highest salary potential. And if you are a career switcher looking to leverage your professional experience into the EdTech or ESL sectors, the third branch shows that a fast-track TEFL or short diploma is your most efficient choice. One final warning before you begin. Always verify the specific accreditation body, like ISO certifications or direct university affiliations, before submitting any tuition fees. By selecting the program that explicitly matches your desired work environment, rather than just clicking on the fastest option, you can safely navigate the online market and build a modern, lucrative teaching career in India.